turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Welcome to another live Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford. And thanks of my new friends from the Upper St. Clair Bethel Park Rotary Club who invited me to talk today about Alan Levine, the talking machine in Pittsburgh Sportsline. They had me there before 7 o'clock. They gave me a nice quiche breakfast. I had green tea. The lady gave me black tea, and I said, I need green. She goes, you're right, that isn't green tea, and I got that. And then they let me talk about how I got great guys on my show, and I made some new friends, and they even want to be guests on my talking machine show. And they thanked me for coming out, and they even asked me to join their club. So I'll have to think about it.
Congratulations.
So if you're watching, I appreciate it. Glad I could put a great thing out there. Thanks to Russ Spicuzza. And it was great to see people there, and I was honored. And thanks for all the Facebook likes. We're now up to our new high ever, 6935.
Yeah. Must be nice to be retired. You can do things during the day.
Smoking Jim, I'll digress a little bit. I worked night turn the first 12 years of my career, starting at 18 and a half. And I did lots of things during the day, unlike you, from exercising to meeting people and have part-time jobs and gigs. I had side jobs back before they were called side jobs. So I can tell you a bunch of them off air. Sorry, fans. I just have to correct Smoking Jim because for some reason he's sort of prejudiced against people that tell the truth. But we'll get on with that. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, in case you didn't understand that or it's your first time watching. We got Smoking Jim Frazier here. We got Nick Callis here, our Rookie of the Year, who tomorrow it's his 1-year anniversary as an intern and volunteer and even one of our co-hosts. So he moved up because I have play favorites with people that are in Greentree and from Greentree like Nick, and even went to KO.
Yeah.
So go KO. We appreciate that.
I met you a year ago tomorrow. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
The first sports line I worked was.
Wow. Seemed like I've known you all my life.
Oh.
All your life, at least.
Well, shout out to Bill Means. Bill, I just finished your Crazy Train and You're Driving. Great book. We'll have to talk about it. And he's in the Steel City, so if you're in Pittsburgh, maybe we can get together a day. It'd be great to meet this legend from KO, one of the toughest guys I ever heard and met from KO. He actually, I think he's like 5'9" or so. He knocked 200-pounders, 300-pounders out.
Wow.
He knocked not one player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 players out of a game sometimes.
Wow.
So when you talk about Gateway, he wasn't recruited. He was from Castle Shannon and was one of our 3 districts. So they didn't recruit him.
3 districts, huh?
Keystone Oaks has Greentree, Dormont, and what did I mention where Bill's from?
KO.
He failed the test.
Castle Shannon.
Castle Shannon.
Yeah.
Any of them got them all.
Hey, Armando, a good friend of mine's watching the show. He loves the mask. As you know, I'm all about branding my friend, and he likes the brand of the mask.
Yeah.
My co-hosts have had the mask, but you know how people get a little lazy with gifts, so I understand that. But thanks for all of you watching it. We'll try to get focused. like I have some promos here, and I wanted to share with you. Chip Hayner had to get a catheterization. They thought he had a blockage in his heart. I thought he was like Smoking Jim. Smoking Jim a few years ago had a triple bypass that turned into a quadruple bypass because he had 4 arteries blocked for some unknown reason, because he says he's a health nut. And I just believe the nut part, and it proved true. But other than that, Chip's doing well, and he gets knee surgery next week, so he'll be missing our shows. He's getting a knee replacement, because unlike Smoking Jim, I'm not picking on him, but he has trouble walking. Here, Chip found out he needs a knee replacement. Wow. The 30 yards of grass he cuts finally wore him down, so he's going to come back even stronger when he gets his knee, and he'll be off for a little while here, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So we have him in our prayers and hope he does well.
Get well soon, Chip.
He never watches the show. All right, we got some promos here. First up, look at A2 in the studio. What's he do here? Bang.
Smoking Jim's favorite. Favorite outfit.
He is swagooed up.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
in
sir.
yellow. How about his shoes, Smoking Jim?
How about the pretty girl on his jet?
You know what? Your eyesight's bad. That's like a ½ an inch large. How do you even see that? Well, what
I'm
happened
impressed.
to this?
You don't even have your glasses on.
He doesn't have his sunglasses on like Stevie Wonder. All right, Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center. They supply us and sponsor our show with an XL pepperoni pizza. Smoking Jim might start talking after I stop busting his you-know-whats. So we'll see what happens. Great Italian food, great service there. Frank Fanera owns it. He wasn't there tonight, but his staff carried on. I met his brother Mike. He has a brother Mike working there with him now, and he said hello. Finally met him, and he realizes we're doing a show. So he cut the pizza and hoagie without cutting his fingers. Check him out, 412-831-1900. Great pizza, made fresh daily. All right, a 501c3. We'll see how A2 does on this. What do you think of this young man here?
Great guy.
Wow, he's on fire. 2 in a row. 2600 South Park Road. Can't miss it. Has a red trolley. For all of you around my age or a little younger, we rode on those trolleys, and they just were one heck of a ride. They shook, rattled, and rolled, and they were exciting. I took it from Keystone Oaks into downtown Pittsburgh to work at Ralph's Discount every Monday and Thursday nights, so it was quite the adventure. They have a 1905 schoolhouse that's been remodeled, 107 windows, brand new roof. They have the cupola with the original Bethel Park bell. This was the original high school in Bethel Park. They've put over $1 million into this schoolhouse, and I talked to Bill Haberther, and he said they're working on their second million of doing things. They just paved the driveway. They're going to put paving stones in there, so I said I'll donate my money to get a paving stone with Alan Levine, the talking machine. And you can get pavers there. Just go to Bethel Park Historical Society.org, and you could order them up and donate the money to help them get on their second $1 million of projects. And they work on it like a few times a week, like tonight, Thursday night, and maybe even another night or two. So they're always working on it. Great place there. They got yearbooks for every year of Bethel Park High School. They got military uniforms, and it's just a great place. Even a dance studio and an artist are there.
Do they need another committee, man?
Smoking Jim, you could volunteer right now. I'll even give them your name.
I'm a committee man.
Well, I'll have them put you on there, but there's one problem that you will have. When you volunteer to be on their committee, you have to work. And we know once you quit that supposed job at IBM, you haven't worked since.
Quality over quantity, Smoking.
Now, where's this at? What happened with our camera work, A2? There it is. Bang. We got it. We got A1 in the control room with Ryan overseeing it, and I think they were fighting over the button they had to press. Look at that. 3 in a row. Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation was started by the parents of Joey Fabus, who died at 8 years old due to DIPG, a dreaded brain cancer. There's a picture before DIPG and after he got it, and he died before his 9th birthday 6 years ago. And they raised over $100,000. They do a big event that I film every year in September, the 5K 1 mile walk run. And it has superheroes there, and we interview the people that come there, and it's quite the event, and we film every year. So I'm honored to be able to do that, and I wish the family well. And just check it out, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Thank you. Next up, another 501c3. We'll see how A2 does on this. Look at that, perfect. Right in the middle is Bennett. He died at 16 and a half. His parents, Kristen and Dean, their child had many problems and issues and had 2 kidney transplants. Dean gave him the second one, and they lost another child due to kidney disease. And they started a group, Always Be Smiling, because Bennett was always smiling and living life to its fullest with his handicaps and his health issues. He died at 16 and a half. December 11th last year, they started Always Be Smiling to help families with disabilities like Bennett, and they've helped many people in our area. I just interviewed Dean and Kristen on my Talking Machine show. You can check out that half-hour show. Just type in Alan Levine, the Talking Machine show, and it'll come up on YouTube. And they're just a great family. They give money to people because when they call you in to get your transplant, you don't know when you're on the list and they call you. You got to get hotel rooms and things for your family and self, and they pay for those things. And they need money. So if you can donate to them, even $1, and just go from there. And if you can like Always Be Smiling, we pumped it up to about 847 likes. We're trying to get to 1,000 by December 11th. So any help you can do, thanks in advance. All right, let's see what I got here next. There we go. Can A2 do it again? He gave the thumbs up. A1 and Ryan in the control room. Bang! Senior Helpers of Southwest PA, 100 Broughton Road, Suite B. It's right there near Walgreens, right across the street. Check it out. It's only 5 minutes from here, 100 Broughton Road. And talk to Jeff, the owner, 412-851-3223. They can even help veterans that need help and need caretakers. They can help you if you're old like me and you need help. They'll charge you a fee and have people come out to help you. Like with Smoking Jim, they could come out there, make sure his house was a little cleaner, and maybe help him get to the bathroom a couple times. And with his walking disabilities, they could try to help him with his walking. But he's a perfect example for that. Not saying how old he is, but if you have aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents that need help, check out this great group. They're doing great things out there in the Pittsburgh area. And give them a call, 412-851-3223. Tell them Al Levine, the Talking Machine, recommended them. On a nice note here, one of our fans, Kathleen Miller, she's needing a kidney, and we've been putting this up. Look at what A2 did on this. Bang! There's Kathleen there. She had a couple issues where she had to rest and take it easy. I was going to treat her to lunch, but maybe before Christmas she'll be strong enough and I can meet with her. Her kidney functions at 16%. When it gets to 15%, somebody offered to donate a kidney like my son did for me, and that gives you a great chance at life and doing well like I'm doing well. So we wish her good luck, and if you want to donate a kidney, you still can. They can swap it out, put it in her name, and somebody else that needs a kidney could get yours. I met a few people that have donated kidneys, and a couple of them did do the swap deal that they do offer, because living donors are so great for helping people live longer and successfully. Amen. So thank you for that. Bethel Park Community Foundation. BPCF.org has money for you. Yes, grant money. $100 to $5,000 for your group in Bethel Park doing great things. And we've given out over $1 million. I'm a trustee on the board. We had our biggest event on Sunday, 5 o'clock. Smoking Jim, he didn't show up again, but it was expected. Over 20 different restaurants. I've been taking it easy. I only had 6 plates.
Wow.
And thanks to Jack Allen with the local Dairy Queen, I had a nice piece of ice cream cake.
Oh.
And he said, Al, we don't have those dreamsicles anymore. I took a picture a couple years ago, and he said if I promoted it, I could get a free one. I got over 200 people like the photo with me in a dreamsicle.
Wow.
And he gave me a free one. So that's how our mayor operates. He said he has something coming up in the spring. He'll let me know what it is. I can be the first one. So thank you, Mayor Jack. I can be the first one. And we were talking and
Maybe
eating.
it'd be a fudge sickle.
Well, no,
I
I don't
like
like.
fudgesicles.
I don't prefer the fudgesicles.
I like
No,
Ooh, that's
No.
tough.
Yeah, that's good, ain't it?
no, no.
Ice cream sandwich.
Oh, that's different than a fudgesicle.
I'm throwing stuff out. I'm trying to guess. trying to guess what it might be.
We'll talk about that after air.
Oh, boy.
All right. This is it for A2. Look at that nice sheet. Dave Cable likes to make a little fun of me, makes me look like Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al sent you. I want you for BPTV. You can be like Nick, in front of the camera and behind the camera. A2, look at the work he's done. You got Ryan in there, you can't even see his work. Oh, wait, you see us on air. He's doing something. And A1's doing the same thing, and Smoking Jim will describe him for you in a second, but we'll get to that. And give a call, 412-831-3304. Tell them the Talking Machine recommended you. If you're in high school and you're watching the show, because Nick told me there's some people that like our show. So shout out to all the younger people and the fans that we have, Smoking Jim. And just great to see the fighter Abby win again out at USS Fight Academy. We'll talk a little bit about that later.
My favorite.
And her parents are just great, Bruce and Kelly. They're just great people.
I can spot them anywhere.
No, he can't. He was so wrong because I'm like, it can't even be true, but that's another story. All right, we got one more test for A2 here, and this is the one that's very challenging. And Smoking Jim, we might have to put the mute button on him. A1, we might need that mute button today. Let's see what, this is serious. Look at what he did here. He gave the thumbs up.
Wow.
Skeet Service Station, 6103 Library Road, 6 miles from here. Skeets Lewandowski of Skeet Service Station did his 900th fight bout as a referee, timekeeper, and judge on Saturday night. I was honored to talk to our man Skeets. He's been doing this for 21 years. He used to be a boxer. He has the world record Golden Glove knockout of 13 seconds. Think about this for a second, all you boxing fans. There's millions of people that have fought Golden Gloves. Skeets here from Finleyville has the world record time of a 13-second, I didn't stutter, 13-second knockout. Oh. And he posts it up every so often. I'll share it on Facebook when he does again, but that in itself is amazing. Plus they got a red, white, and blue station. Anything that runs on gas they fix. They're doing electric tools, they're fixing it. Hedge trimmers, weed whackers, boats, tractor trailers. You name it, they work on it. They're just great. And they have a little smorgasbord every Monday, and Smoking Jim knows that means you can eat almost anything, including the pig's feet and chicken wings that Smoking Jim sucks up. But other than that, it's pretty healthy. Give them a call, 724-348-4715. Tell them the Talking Machine sent you there. Even your lawnmower, you need it sharpen the blade. Weed whackers, snow blowers. There's much more. Just give them a call. Thank you. Now we go Smoking Jim Frazier. Just try to give me one thing that's on your mind. And not food.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine. and my main man, the VIP of BPTV, looking like Grizzly Adams. There's no Razor and Castle Shannon anymore, brother.
Hold it. First
I'm
disclaimer.
gonna grow my beard now.
First disclaimer of the day. Smoking Jim doesn't even shave. He tweezes his whiskers.
Do you? Yeah.
He tweezes them.
Yeah.
And then how could, if you watch the beginning of the show, didn't we discuss a little segment on KO that I went off the rails a little bit? Green Tree, Dormont, and Castle Shannon. And didn't I mention that I took care of my Green Tree KO friend? I rest my case.
You didn't want to ask why?
These are his opinions.
You don't want to ask why I'm not shaving?
Oh God,
You want to ask?
because it's
It's No Shave November. I'm raising awareness for men's health. So yeah,
I like
now
it,
you
I
clap
like
it up.
it.
Now he claps.
I didn't know. I knew there had to be.
Hold
a
it. I
reason.
got a question for Nick. Can you raise Smoking Jim's awareness for his own health?
Yeah, you got to stop eating the buckets of chicken and stuff. You know,
It's my
you got to get those
protein.
legs checked out. You know what
My
I'm saying?
protein.
That's my protein. Yay!
But I got to salute our captain.
Who's our
Anthony,
captain?
never here out of place.
Oh.
On the ones and twos.
How'd he
making us look
become a
good.
captain?
He's the captain, man. He runs this whole crew, man. And I tell you what, best editor I know, Ryan is back there, and I tell you what, all swagged out. The ladies love him. Tony, making us look good.
Whew.
But hey, L. Levine, the talking machine, I got to come to you. Congratulations to the man that not only saved the Penguins when he was a hockey player, but saved the Penguins as an owner. Mario Lemieux just sold the team. He bought it for $100 million, and he's selling it for almost $1 billion. Mario Lemieux is doing what I want to do in Bitcoin. I want to turn my 1,000 into $1 million, and I got a handful of people that I don't know that said I can do it in 5 years. L. Levine, the talking machine, don't kill my dream. Me and Mario Lemieux.
This is set up. This is set up for basic math at Gateway. He believes in
Don't
home.
kill my dream.
No other factors contributed to the
He
Penguins
supposedly
being more expensive.
graduated Gateway, but before I get into that, Tony from Chick-fil-A said, "Just feed him." Smoking Jim.
Tony spent his birthday in Monroeville in God's country.
He
I'm
was
proud.
looking for you. He heard one of your jerseys was up on the wall. And I didn't want to tell him that a couple years after I met Smoking Jim, I had to go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Monroeville to meet somebody. And I asked the manager, I go, "Where's the jerseys at?" They go, "Oh, they're on the wall over here, sir." I go, "Is there a Gateway jersey like 22? He goes, "You can look, but we've never seen one." So my prayers for Tony. And thanks to Bob Ridgway, a good friend of mine watching. Appreciate that. Chip Hayner, shout out to Healthy.
Chip's watching.
Chip
Chip is
Hayner
watching,
is
man.
watching.
Chip, miss you, buddy.
Prayers are coming strong your way for the surgery and that new knee. So
The fill-in for Chip, I'll talk hockey.
get the puck out of
But
here.
I just want to say,
Get the puck
I
outta
just want
here.
to finish and say congratulations to Mario Lemieux. $100 million turned it into $1 billion. I hope the new ownership does as well as Mario did for the town, and he's my inspiration with my Bitcoin.
Well, let me explain the Bitcoins to most people.
Don't kill my tree.
Smoking Jim supposedly has $1,000 in there, and I showed him simple math. I said, you need 1,000 times the $1,000 to get $1 million. He didn't believe me, so he said he'd take it to his experts. So they just told him, you're going to be a millionaire in 5 years. And I said, how many of them are millionaires? He couldn't answer.
Well, can I just say one thing before we go to Nick? I read one page out of a book.
What book?
And it said, if you double a penny every day, that's what I'm thinking
Fred
about.
Franklin taught that in the 1700s.
See?
Now,
you
do
see
you
what-
even have a penny on you?
Yeah, pennies were relevant back then. You know.
Do you even have a
They were-
penny?
But if you double a penny
Answer
every
my
day-
question. I
No,
rest my case. Do you
no,
have a penny?
No.
Then you're not going to make it.
I got a handful of people that I don't know says I can do it.
Well, they seem honest like you. And we're going to move on to Nick because we're not going to talk this nonsense about Bitcoins. Smoking Jim, your money in the bank is safer than the money in the Bitcoins.
Oh, don't kill my dream.
No, it's just honesty.
Oh, those eyes are so sad. Aw.
That's the entertainer, and Chip says, keep the faith, gentlemen.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Chip. All right, Nick, I don't know what to say. What's on your mind now?
Well, really reflecting on the last year being at BPTV, it's been fun and it's been quite a roller coaster ride. And now I'm feeling grateful over the next few weeks. I'll get to sit next to the man I met a year ago tomorrow, this guy in his wildness. So really reflecting on a year of nepotism and VIP and all that spawned out of that and taking his chair for an episode. It happened, folks. It happened on this show. Unbelievable. But sports related.
Nick, I'm glad you've progressed and gotten better each week.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, that we got you on because Smoking Jim missed out, right?
I guess so, yeah.
So he's like the Wally Pipp, if you know baseball, and then that famous guy, Lou Gehrig.
Yep.
He's the Wally Pipp for Nick Callis.
You have no clue who that is.
But I'm
No,
always
we talked about it.
Oh, you
so
do
he
know who
knows
that
of it.
is?
But I'm always a team player, even it looked like I was on my deathbed. I'm like, get the food the hell with me.
We'll digress.
I passed out. That was my last word.
I wonder how I'm going to change being over here now.
Now, for all of you,
It's gonna be.
hey, thanks to Mark Richard, hello, for walking. He just did an Ironman event. I just thought he was a golf pro. He did an Ironman event. I saw his dad before he passed away at 96 years old 2 years ago. His dad, Bill Richard, was a legendary guy that I worked with at the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette, just one of the greatest guys that I knew. My friend Gene and I met with him, and he was a little bit sharper, to be honest with you, Mark, than Smoking Jim is right now
Yikes.
at 96.
Wow.
Big yikes.
Amen.
And so we appreciate all of you watching, and
To be an Ironman, you got to do swimming, right?
yeah, every
That
day.
rolls out all black, man.
Smoking Jim, I got to do another disclaimer.
We can't
no.
swim, and you know it.
No, here,
Well,
disclaimer, Tony from Chick-fil-A.
But Mark Smith's black.
I'm gonna start giving Smoking Jim a new nickname. The disclaimer is he only represents himself, not the studio, me, or my team.
that's
Not
why the
even my
disclaimer's at the
camera
beginning.
people. Hence the word disclaimer. And I have to ask Smoking Jim 2 questions to find out how honest he is. Do you know referee Ernie Sharif?
I can't swim.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Do you know Ernie?
I know him, yeah.
Did you see the picture he put up of his grandson? He's 6 years old. He does karate and other sports. And guess what he showed a picture of?
Him in the tub.
He was at a pool.
Yay!
He was at a pool and he was getting his swimming lessons because he loves to swim.
Yay!
Photoshop.
And just tell the folks, is he black or white?
Huh?
Ernie
He's
Sharif.
black. He's black.
Thank you. Hey, shout out to Jody. Jody just turned in and said we rock. Jody, thanks
Jody?
for watching the show.
Hey, Jody,
Your
I-
business
I
partner.
need my Christmas tree, Jody. Jody got a Christmas tree for me. I love you, Jody. I got to get my Christmas tree.
All right, time out, Smoking Jim. We got to move to Nick to close out on this.
All right, a couple things about sports related.
Yes, finally.
Brian Reynolds got an award in the MLB The Show video game I play. He is the Pirates player. They all get awards at the end of the year. One player from every team gets the show's finest award at the end of the year. So congrats to Brian Reynolds. 99 rated overall out of 99. So we got the
Thanks
highest
for
rating.
bringing that up.
And
for all our baseball fans.
yeah, and to say this on the Steelers front, I'm still on the Dwayne train, especially after this past Sunday. I predicted that the Steelers would lose one of the games, either to the Bears or the Lions.
And you were right.
Well, yeah, Sunday felt like a loss.
We'll
but
talk
I'm on the
about-
Dwayne train.
That
Let's put him in a quarterback.
disclaimer.
Put him in a quarterback.
Disclaimer on Nick, first time ever. I got to disagree that you don't represent me or my opinion of that, just with the inside knowledge and the public knowledge we have about Dwayne Haskins.
We're on an island now.
And you can stay there. And Jody says Aunt K tree.
Yay.
So it's coming to you, Smoking Jim. Thanks, Jody. You made him happy.
I love you, Jody.
He's going to start eating now, so he'll be quiet. I don't even know what's on my mind
She
right.
made me some homemade chicken noodle soup one time. It was so good.
Smoking Jim, I got to interrupt you a little. I appreciate her talents and skills. She's a friend of mine. Appreciate what she does. But we're actually trying to talk sports.
Oh, my fault.
You can entertain people off air.
Were you able to read the title of Sportsline?
No, he didn't get it yet. Oh, man. What's on my mind here? Well, the breaking news with the Lemieux and the Penguins, just shocking with what he's done to the city. He took over a team so he could get paid, so I appreciate him. And then look what he did for us here. And look at the Stanley Cups we got because of him. And we'll just see where we go next. And just see what happens. Oh, Jody just came up with a brilliant line for Smoking Jim. I don't know if he likes athletes love chicken noodle soup.
I love it.
And Robert Brown, thanks for watching our show. Thanks for tuning in. And what I wanted to bring up is just this football year, I wanted to bring up about Mahomes here. They were talking about how bad he was, and maybe they figured him out and he was done. I don't know if anybody watched, but somehow he won a game, and didn't they score like 41 points?
Unbelievable.
So thank you to all the experts that are out there. Like, I'd rather just put my opinion out and be wrong, but I guess they didn't figure him out too long. It took a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and that's what's on my mind, and we're going to come back. Please pray for us with Smoking Jim's Fiction and Fact from his almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. my man, the VIP of BPTV.
Where is it?
Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. I tell you what.
What?
I thought, and I won't talk much about it, I'll let you talk about it, but I thought when Roy Jones Jr. got robbed in Seoul, Korea for the gold medal in the Olympics, I thought it was highway robbery. But I tell you what, we see some questionable calls.
I second that emotion.
In boxing this weekend. But I just want to get back to this Al Levine, the talking machine.
Well, it is Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's almanac.
Yeah, Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's almanac.
What is it?
Al Levine, the talking machine. And I mentioned this before, and I just feel obliged to mention it again because I took a lot of heat.
Excuse me, what's the point of this?
Well, the point is, you know what I mean, you brought me on 10 years ago. A lot of people didn't know why you brought me on. It's because
somebody lied to me and said you're a very good guy and know sports.
And it's because I'm the best scout on the planet, and I always got to hear. And Kevin Colbert's a good friend of mine, and everybody be like, well, you know, if Kevin Colbert's hit it, and I'm like, Kevin Colbert's a great friend of mine, but Kevin Colbert can't scout as good as me. And the case in point, when the Steelers traded up in 2018 for Devin Bush, I said on draft day, Al Levine, the talking machine. I was in the hospital at the time.
Hold it. What happened? What was wrong with you then?
I can't remember then.
Was it legs?
But I took a break from my sponge bath. I led the league in sponge baths when I'm in the hospital, bro.
What was the nurse's name?
Oh, they beautiful.
What was his name?
At Forbes.
What was his name?
At Forbes in Monroeville, they got the most beautiful nurses. But I said on draft day, I said Al Levine, the talking machine. That's the biggest mistake. He don't fit the Steelers. He's short. He can't cover tight ends. He only had one interception in college. Now, he's a great athlete, but he's a finesse player. Now, everybody in the world is seeing what I seen on draft day, that I took heat on for 3 years. They said he was going to be better than Ryan Shazier.
Well, didn't he get hurt?
Pardon me?
He got hurt.
He wasn't any good before then.
No, but now they're saying it because he got hurt and hasn't recovered.
Well,
He's like you and your brother walk.
Yeah, he does. He's the best. He's the best retrieving. Is that what's it called when you go backwards? Is that retrieving? What's the word for
Retreating.
that? Retreating.
Retreats.
He's the best retreating linebacker in
Was
the
he
game.
saying retrieving?
Yeah,
He retreating. Hey,
Hold it. Hold it. Thanks to Lois Brenner. I got to bring
Is it
out.
in there?
This is our. Here, can you pull up here quick, A2?
Say it again. How do you say it again?
retreating.
Retreating.
We'll see what he can. We'll see what he can do on that. Look
He
at
moonwalks.
this book. All right, let me open it up. Here, we'll do the close up. Look what year this dictionary came out.
1909.
You know, Smoking Jim, I brought it up many times. Let me look up retreating.
And while he looks that up, do you know what retrieving? Do you know what that means before we
That
find the
means
answer?
you go get something, right?
Oh, not bad.
He's not dumb, he plays dumb.
Like that dog. Like my favorite thing when that dog go get that frisbee.
All right, let me see here. Retrieving. You know how to look it up, Smoking Jim, R-E. You don't know how to spell it?
I used to hate encyclopedias.
1909, retrieving is not in this dictionary. You're ruled out of order. I got a question for you since you're on Fiction and Fact.
Yes, sir.
Bill Means asked, do you remember Mark Crum from Gateway in 1971?
Fastest guy in Gateway history.
Who had more return yards and
Yeah.
TDs ever at the
Fastest
school.
guy ever.
I met up with him at Edinburgh State, his first play from scrimmage in 1972.
Fastest guy ever at Gateway.
Let's see what it said. He got the Gale Sayers injury, both ACLs torn by a big dude from Waynesburg,
Ooh.
and his career was over. Best
didn't know
running
that.
back I ever played with,
Yeah,
he said.
he was the fastest guy in Gateway history.
What an ending.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank-
that update, Bill.
Means business. My man Means. Natron
Business.
Means. Remember the
Business.
running back for San Diego? Natron means business.
How's your Bitcoin business?
I tell you what.
No, carry on with your
It's
fiction
not
and fact.
growing as fast as Crum used to run, but he was a super fast
Well,
guy.
you see his
Thank
career ended?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to Bitcoin.
His records are still up at Gateway.
You aren't going to make
I
1,000.
never met him, but his reputation.
You aren't going to make 1,000 times 1,000.
But can you guys apologize to me for when I said that Bush would be a bust? Now everybody
No.
can see he's a bust. Can't you
No.
see that?
No, because I gave you credit with T.J. Watt when they first
Thank you.
signed him.
Thank you.
You said he'd be the best linebacker in Steeler history, and I said he needs some time, and now he's hurt. You've jinxed them all. Everybody you talk about gets hurt.
Congratulations.
And that's what's on my mind.
You're-
Pittsburgh Steelers in the middle.
Well, that was
linebacker.
actually a little clarification there. Smoking Jim's lost it a bit. He can't eat right now. He's very stressed out. Jody loves us all. Thanks,
I love
Jody. It was Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
That too.
This is a shout out to Bill Means. One of his greatest coaches was Joe Vito. He actually played for the Cleveland Browns and was one of
Really?
our coaches.
Wow.
In geometry class, he always said, I have some fiction and fact from Joe Vito's Almanac.
Really?
So I stole that, Bill, because look how it fits.
Wow.
Smoking Jim Frazier. Because he believes, Bill, like Joe Vito, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, I never met the man because I never had geometry.
Hold it, Jody just came back. I'm a witness. Jim said Bush would be a bust.
Yay! Thank you, Jody.
Hey, Jody, I heard him, but I only believe 1/10 of what he says. Oh, sorry, did that slip out? Let's move on to Nick.
Well, I'm going to pick the one probably least talked about amongst sports right now, and that's the Major League Baseball Most Valuable Player Awards. So this year is particularly unique because all the players who were nominated make the top 3 for MVP in Major League Baseball, all of them were not on playoff-bound teams, and I want to discuss.
Nick, before you go on, that's a great move, but can you explain that slowly to Smoking Jim, what you're actually saying?
So, all the players who were nominated for MVP in baseball, the finalists, all of them were on teams that didn't make playoffs. It's an
You find
interesting
that
dynamic,
interesting?
isn't it? A little intriguing. I'm going to throw some names at you
I'm
that.
playing tic-tac-toe on my napkin.
But so
We got these from somewhere, Smoking Jim.
I'll cite an
Called a
example.
pizza shop, Olive Oils. Go ahead, Nick.
I'll cite an example for you where maybe we should consider more players who led teams to playoffs. Take Bryce Harper, for example, back when he was with the Washington Nationals. He put up
What year was that?
2015.
Thank
He was
you.
22 years old. Writers have loved him for a while because he's
Same age as
He's a
you.
young talent. Yeah, that I am now, but he's 4 years older than me, 5 years older than me. But
No, I understand that analogy.
yeah.
We're living in the time now, except for Smoking Jim.
Wow.
Go ahead.
But so, he put up good numbers in 2015, probably his best numbers of his career, maybe minus what he did in 2019 with the Phillies. But
Yeah.
anyway, but when you look at Bryce Harper as himself individually, he put up those good numbers. But as he affected his team, Bryce Harper was involved in fights with players. Bryce Harper was seen not running up fly balls at times. He was seen arguing with umpires consistently. He still does, but especially did back then, arguing with umpires and just not creating a distraction by himself instead of soaking things in and or maybe eating things just to benefit the team. So
You mean he wasn't really a team player?
I don't think he's a team guy. He's very much just always concerned with what's going on with Bryce Harper.
Did you ever
Internally.
hear of a guy named James Harrison?
Well, no, James Harrison was
How does that fit?
James Harrison was worse. James Harrison was worse.
And he never mentored anybody like Smoking Jim said, because
Jeez.
he was by himself. Smoking Jim was spotting him when he had 1,000 pounds to lift. And Bill Means said, "Fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's almanac fits you, like Joe Vito." So there's a compliment. Legendary coach,
Thank you.
played for the Browns back in the 50s or
I'm on.
early
I'm
60s.
on.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Harper was very much a distraction, and you see that when the Nationals did not invest in him anymore,
Yes.
and they went on to invest in pitching, they got Patrick Corbin, and it seemed that Patrick Corbin was the team guy, the necessary guy that the Nationals needed to go on and win the World Series. So that's a citing example of why maybe you want to consider MVPs to be part of teams that make playoffs, because emotions and characteristics of people do matter as it relates to winning, and I think that contributes to being a most valuable player. Now, a unique example this year is that Shohei Ohtani's in the final three for most valuable player. The Angels didn't make playoffs, but Ohtani individually, Ohtani's a guy who has done something unprecedented.
In 100 years, we haven't
Right,
seen
we
it.
have not seen a pitcher pitch and hit with the astronomical numbers
home runs.
and put up numbers on the mound, pitching numbers that are as astronomical.
And Babe Ruth
That's it.
still has records.
Right, but just the fact that Ohtani could go out there and average giving up two and a half runs a game.
I'm
and
trying to
over-
co-sign your point
Right.
that these records are over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And he's doing something being mentioned and one of the greatest ball players in my mind, baseball history. So for somebody to do that, that means something to me. So carry on.
There you go. Yeah. No, but
Glad to hear some information from
Yeah.
that side of the table. Thank you. And
you know-
Patrick Higgs, thanks for watching the show, Patrick. Appreciate you.
no, but
Oh, sorry, that slipped on. Disclaimer on me. Disclaimer on me. I'm not picking on Smoking Jim. He just makes it so easy to try to correct him. And I'm just trying to correct him and get him focused back on the rails.
retrieve.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of a dog named the Golden Retriever?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're an animal lover and you supposedly owned a dog. What's its name?
I can't. It's a her. It's a her.
What's her name? He don't own a dog. Nick, carry on before it gets too crazy.
Right. So, I mean, in Bryce Harper's case, I don't think, he should have won it because of how he
Behaved.
negatively influenced his team. Shohei Ohtani, though, is unique because, he's done something unprecedented. But even with Ohtani's efforts, he stayed healthy in 2021 for the most part and put up the numbers that he did. Still, his team didn't make playoffs. And
Don't they have a big hitter on that team, too?
Mike Trout. I mean,
What's he done even as great as he is?
Well, the only reason I bring up Ohtani is because the Angels' pitching has been abysmal in years past before Ohtani came around, and he's been like the gleaming light. And other than him and Raisel Iglesias, their pitching has been terrible. And I think that they had no problems with their offense, I don't think, over the years.
Well, do you remember a guy named Pujols that they signed for a lot of money?
He played well for them up until
For
the
5 or
later
6 years.
But
It was a 10-year
for a 10-year
deal.
contract, 6 years is still good. They should have done, I think better. But the fact that they didn't have pitching, it doesn't matter how many runs you score if your pitching staff doesn't prevent runs from scoring. But in the end, I'm going to take the opinion. I think that the MVP should be more part of, or should be considered how they influence their team as well as the numbers they put up, because numbers are just numbers. But there are emotional aspects of baseball and all sports that can contribute to sparking a team's ability to win games and eventually win a championship. And I'm upset because Freddie Freeman was not in the top 3 for MVP, and he put up good numbers this year. He's been a consistent quality player.
Well, he had a bad first half of the year.
He made up for it, though.
But, no, that's how prejudiced things are when they vote on these things.
Well, Jake Arrieta won a Cy Young having the greatest second half ever, so
Right.
his first half wasn't all that great. But,
I didn't say it was a perfect system.
it's not.
But
And that's my point.
I agree
That's my
with
argument.
you, and my friend Bill Means said, I agree with Nick.
Love that. Thank you, Bill.
And glad
That's the
you're in the
opinion for
Steel
today.
City. Nick would love to meet you. No doubt. So maybe we can make it happen. We'll have to see. But thank you, Nick. I appreciate the information. Baseball is my first love. And before Smoking Jim starts interrupting, he never played baseball. And we're
I
going to...
went 7 for 8 my last game. No, it was actually 8 for 8.
Can we have a reunion in Castle Shannon?
With Bill?
Yeah, with everybody.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
How do you have a reunion if you went to Gateway? The 3 of us went
Yeah.
to KO.
Oh, yeah.
We went, let me explain, Smoking Jim.
I'll bring the hot dogs.
Gateway, KO. KO. Go KO
We
is
played
with
some
us.
playoff games on your field. That was the best field
Dormont
ever.
Stadium, one
Oh,
of the
that
great.
grass was legendary.
Did you attend the school, though? Or you,
No,
no, you're a Gator.
I played on the
The
field.
Eagles fly over the Gators. Woo!
All right, end this segment. Let's move to my segment. Come on. Oh, my goodness. That On Locations that A2 did, isn't that great on that screen? Shout out to A2, all swagooed up in yellow and gold. And Tony from Chick-fil-A said, so many disclaimers. I'm not causing it. I'm like the referee in a game. I'm not biased. And Jody brought up a good point. She goes, Smoking Jim goes to Pirate games. But Jody, he's never been there longer than 3 innings. And a couple times he went to games and didn't go in. He gave tickets supposedly to other people.
That's
Now-
shameful. That's terrible.
I'm going to try to get On Location, but we had a great time. We were honored to be at USS Fight Academy, 1912 North Lincoln Highway, 5 minutes from Smoking Jim's house, 45 minutes from mine. And for some unknown reason, Smoking Jim was dressed to the nines in a suit and a hat. And he was there an hour early.
Wow.
And all because I negotiated a deal for him to be the ring announcer.
Thank you, sir.
And he did thank me there, and he did now. You're welcome, buddy. I'm on your side. I got more cash for you than your Bitcoin made for you today.
And I tell you what, that white DJ had some black in him, didn't he? He
Well,
was jamming.
I don't like to talk like that, Smoking Jim.
Don't
but,
you agree?
But, Nick, you'll like this. He thought I was you. They're playing a rap song. He goes, Machine, what song is that? I go, ask Nick.
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
I'm sorry I wasn't there.
Oh, we are too, believe me. Jody just ratted you out. Jody, I respect you. She goes, this is true. Jim leaves by third inning at Pirate games.
Boo! Boo!
Jody, I miss you and your family. Oh,
Shame.
you're the best. All right, back to USS Fight Academy. Steve Cunningham, one of the toughest guys. Tell them, Smoking Jim, since I've been beating you up all day, give us a fact on USS Cunningham, what he did, and he knocked down a big-time guy. Tell them that on air here.
Well, everybody knows that I'm a boxing historian. And the greatest heavyweight boxer ever seen in my life, better than Cassius Clay, better than Muhammad Ali, better than Rocky Marciano, better than Joe Louis, is Tyson Fury. And USS Cunningham, who's a two-time world cruiserweight champion, moved up to heavyweight and knocked him down with one punch. And what outstanding. And Tyson Fury said that's the hardest he ever got hit.
And I'm going to let Smoking Jim stop there because he finally told, well, something that's very true. And we're big fans of him. He's fans of ours. He just gave me a great compliment that he thanks us for doing our shows and how we help them get the word out about them. And Steve, this will be on our show. We're honored to do that. Always a pleasure. Jim, his assistant there that gets us the gigs, and just great people. Livy, his wife. His sons, great fighters, every one of them. One of the questionable fights was young Steve Jr. Like I learned, we have friends that are referees, and they've explained that when you make contact with your gloves, that they give you points for it. And I don't know how Steve lost when he was making so many points by punching the other guy, but he lost the split decision. That was one fight I questioned, and then at least 3 or 4 others. And I try not to mention it on air because my dad was a referee, but my dad always had this great saying. He goes, the referee should not determine the game. And if you notice the referee during the game, there's a problem. And this was my dad. He refereed from 1959 to 1983, went to Pennsylvania Hall of Fame, 58th anniversary, met a guy named Howdy, and he said, was your dad Sully Levine? And I said, yes. He goes, he was a legendary official for years, and I worked with him. And I asked him, how old are you? He goes, 79. I go, my dad would have been 90 this year if he lived. So thank you for the compliments.
Your dad probably threw my dad out of the gym many times. My dad used to get thrown out at basketball games. He was always on the ref.
Well, my dad was 5'7", and he had a booming voice that would carry outside of the auditorium. When he saw something happen, he boomed. Like you would have been thrown out the first minute there.
Yeah.
You would have never made it. He'd have given your team a tee. And he said, escort that harassing gentleman out of the building right now. And he would have done it. You can ask my friends that saw him do it, and that'll be another show. But no, it was just great going out there. We got great feedback from Abby's parents and other boxing families. They just enjoy our shows. They like how Smoking Jim talks about the shoes of the boxers or their shorts or whatever color they're wearing, and lime green shoes never lose, different things like that. So, and then a couple of them said, when you're correcting Smoking Jim on a slip or a knockdown, we love that. And they go, you're right almost all the time. And we only had it happen less than 6 times the other night. So thanks for being fans of our show and, and watching that. We have so much fun doing it.
Yes, sir.
It's not even like a job. Yeah. And we just like promoting young people in our area that are working hard and don't get the publicity. Like we had young kids, 65-pound kids, 8, 9 years old, boxing, and they looked like they were boxing for a year or two with
Yes,
their
sir.
footwork,
Yes, sir.
not giving much to hit, their angles, and their punches. And it was just great to see that, and we just love doing it, so we'll be doing more of that. For On Location, there's not many opportunities with people not having enough people to work at bars, and then limitations on different seating and stuff. So we haven't really been out there, so we sort of lost our part-time gigs out there this year, but we're not crying about it. Look at all the people that have lost jobs and still haven't got them back. But we're out there, and we got some potential for next year. It'll get better, so we'll be out there On Location. And now we got to just end this last minute or so with Steelers. Where do the Steelers go from here, Nick?
Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, the
I must
quarterback.
disagree.
We've got to try him.
The scouting report on Haskins before the game, he was so lackadaisical and on his phone the whole time when he was supposed to be passing and warming up.
He was relaxed.
Well,
Just it's good.
you're
Mason Rudolph was
22
scared.
years old. If they tell you to go throw the ball, what would you do?
Throw the ball.
Okay, I rest my case. Smoking Jim, your thoughts?
Well,
Okay, that's enough.
everybody knows I love Coach Tomlin. He should never be. He should have been gone as the head coach here. He should be at LSU somewhere. The collapse is ready. They're ready for their midseason collapse.
Oh,
Like they do
shout out.
every year.
Thanks, Bill Mean, for agreeing what my dad said about referees. Go ahead, Smoking Jim.
Steelers are ready for the collapse. The Mike Tomlin.
Well, haven't they done this for 3 years?
3 or 4 years.
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it from Smoking Jim. And like I told you when they were 11-0 last year and everybody was saying how bad they were,
did.
I said appreciate the wins because what if we were 2-9? Like right now, what would you think if we only had 2 wins like it looked like we could have had?
Yes, sir.
So we're doing better than we really have the team to do it. And we do have a 39-year-old quarterback at the end of his career with nobody to replace him. And on that happy note, thank you for all the watching of our shows and all the support. We appreciate, we love you guys. And please stay Joey strong.